Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we've got something absolutely crucial. Think of it as a vital survival guide for anyone trying to navigate the literally brutal realities of the music industry. We're looking straight at the foundational document titled Music Business Mistakes Upcoming Artists Make. If you've ever found yourself wondering why some unbelievably gifted musicians just kind of vanish without a trace, while others completely blow up and thrive, well, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to decode the exact missteps that derail otherwise promising careers.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why do talented artists fail? I mean, you see it all the time, right? An artist pours absolute passion, thousands of hours, literally their entire soul into creating phenomenal music. They've got the raw talent, they've got the drive, but here's the hard truth we're looking at today. Talent alone, it's just not enough to survive the business. The business has a completely different set of rules, and ignoring them is, quite frankly, a fatal error.
Our source material actually frames this reality perfectly with a great quote. This topic is evergreen and emotionally engaging. And it's so true, because making music is, one of the most emotional, vulnerable things a human being can do. But failing because of completely avoidable business mistakes? Man, that is a timeless tragedy. It happens year after year, decade after decade. So our goal with this explainer today is to kind of strip the emotion out of the business side, face these traps head on, and stop that tragedy from happening to the next wave of upcoming artists.
To do that, we're going to break this explainer down into 4 quick sections. 1. The artist's reality check. 2. Legal traps and publishing. 3. Poor branding and silent releases. And 4. The streaming income illusion. Basically, we're taking 6 incredibly common, fatal mistakes from our source and organizing them into these distinct traps.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the artist's reality check.
So there's this massive fundamental friction right at the heart of an artist's journey. On one hand, you've got that deep, intense emotional connection to the music. But on the other hand, you have the completely unforgiving, evergreen nature of industry traps just waiting for you. It's so common to mistakenly believe that the sheer purity and quality of your art will, magically protect you from the harsh realities of the business, but our source makes it crystal clear. While music is meant to be emotionally engaging, letting those emotions blind you to the cold, hard mechanics of the industry is just a guaranteed recipe for disaster. You really have to separate the art from the operation if you want to survive.
Moving right along to Section 2, Legal Traps and Publishing.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the stark contrast between these two realities. On the left, we've got one of the absolute most devastating mistakes cited directly in our source, signing bad contracts. I mean, think about the psychology here. It is incredibly easy for an upcoming artist who's just desperate for that big break to get completely blinded by a shiny offer and sign away their rights without ever reading the fine print. But look over on the right, retaining control and understanding your deals. This is the ideal reality, where you, the artist, actually control your own art. Signing a bad contract means giving up your leverage, your long-term ownership, and ultimately, your future revenue. It's an entirely avoidable mistake if you just treat your art like a serious business right from day one.
And right alongside bad contracts is this massive oversight. The source explicitly warns against ignoring publishing. Now, publishing represents the actual composition of your music, right? The lyrics, the underlying melody. It is a really crucial source of rights and income. Yet so many upcoming artists mistakenly ignore it because, frankly, it feels complicated, highly administrative, or honestly just boring compared to being in the studio. But listen, by ignoring publishing, you are literally leaving money and ownership on the table every single time your song gets played. You're basically doing all the hard creative work, but walking away before you even collect the paycheck.
Which brings us to Section 3, poor branding and silent releases.
The source specifically points to poor branding as a major failing point. You could literally have the most sonically brilliant track of the entire year, but poor branding makes incredible music easily forgettable. And look, branding isn't just slapping a logo on something. It's the visual and conceptual identity that tells an audience exactly who you are before they ever even hit press play. Just imagine the difference between an artist whose visuals, colors, and styling instantly convey their unique vibe versus someone who just uploads like a generic selfie as their album art. Without a crystal clear identity, upcoming artists just get completely lost in the endless noise of daily uploads. If people can't remember who you are, they're definitely not going to come back to listen again.
So, the crucial point is really the absolute absurdity of releasing music without marketing. You spend weeks, maybe months, meticulously crafting a song, perfecting every single beat and every vocal take. And then, what? You just hit upload and sit in silence, hoping the universe magically discovers it? Contrast that with the right side, a strategic marketing push. Releasing music without marketing is literally like throwing a massive, super expensive party and just forgetting to send out the invitations. Nobody shows up. And not because the party is bad, but because they simply didn't know it was happening. It's a massive disservice to your own art to put it out into the world without a plan to help it actually find its audience.
And finally, Section 4, the streaming income illusion.
And this brilliantly illustrates a massive danger cited directly in our source, depending solely on streaming income. Notice how that one filled slice right there is your streaming revenue. For an upcoming artist, that slice is usually incredibly small. But look at all those blank slices around it. Those represent all the missing revenue streams. We're talking merchandise, live shows, physical copies, sync licensing for TV and film, all completely ignored. If you depend solely on streaming, you are putting all of your financial eggs into a basket you do not control. I mean, a tiny fraction of a cent per stream is not going to pay your rent. By ignoring those other slices, you're essentially starving your own business.
Which leads right into our final mistake, the failure to build an email list. Let's just look at this progression for a second. You start with step 1, a casual streamer who happens to hear your song on some random playlist. Moving to step 2, maybe they like it enough to become an engaged listener who clicks through to check out your artist profile. But step 3 is where the actual sustainable business is built, converting them into a dedicated email list subscriber. An algorithm can literally change tomorrow and completely hide your music from your casual streamers. But an email list? That is a direct, unfiltered line of communication to a reliable fan base. Honestly, not building an email list means you're really just renting your audience from streaming platforms instead of truly owning your fan base. Which brings us to the end of our breakdown and to this final, really provocative question. We've seen the traps, we know the 6 major pitfalls from the source. Bad contracts, ignoring publishing, releasing without marketing, poor branding, not building email lists, and relying solely on streaming. So, the question is really yours to answer. Will you let a bad contract or a silent release ruin your music? Talent absolutely gets you to the starting line, but navigating these timeless business realities, that's what actually gets you to the finish line. Treat your art with the respect it deserves. Treat it like the serious business it is, and please, don't let these mistakes be your legacy. Keep learning, keep creating, and we'll see you on the next Explainer.